The NFL is comprised of an athlete base that is 70% black. So on the field, 70% of the players are black. 70%. Out of the, I guess, 27 coaches, there's only one black head coach. And from what I understand, and goddamn, I am such a sports ball Andy right now, but Brian Flores has 32 coaches. Oh, sorry. 32 coaches, 5 teams without a head coach currently, only one black head coach, and only 2 non-black or non-white head coaches other than that. There's one Lebanese coach, and then there is one Puerto Rican coach. Other than that, every other fucking team is coached by a white dude, okay? Now, this conversation is really annoying because immediately people are like, oh, you want to hire someone just on the basis of them being black? It's like, no. But also, if you are to tell me that there is not a single good black coach that is good enough, that like there are 5 teams with no head coach at the moment, you're really telling me that there's not like one good black coach? I mean, Brian Flores literally was a winning coach who got fired. The lawsuit is comprised of like, there's a couple different things going on right now. Okay. So we're going to unpack these different elements of this lawsuit because one of them is about racism, which goes against the Rooney rule that the NFL has, which they established in 2003. And that's like the classic lip service, like aesthetic liberalism, diversity quota rule that they passed in 2003, which dictates that requires league teams to interview ethnic minority candidates for head coaching and senior football operation jobs. And it's like an affirmative action principle, basically, but it's just lip service. And his experience that he is going to describe here, before we get to him, actually, I think we'll do the refresher here. That's like a lot better to probably go through the details. His experience with Bill Belichick kind of proves that the Rooney rule is simply just a fucking basic lip service for liberals, aesthetic liberalism. The second part of it is, as Jarvis points out here, in order to get a better fucking pick in the draft, the Florida Dolphins, the Dolphins wanted to, or Miami Dolphins, Florida Dolphins, the Dolphins wanted to fucking lose. So they wanted to pay him to lose. They wanted to pay him $100K in bonuses for every loss in 2019. I said Florida Dolphins. So they have a better draft spot. And then they fired him because he was winning too much. So we'll talk about that part of it as well. So let's continue.
Claiming racial discrimination in pro football. Former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores is suing the NFL and 3 teams, claiming, quote, in certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation.
Spare me the shock. Don't be shocked that this is going on.
Yeah, I mean, it is shocking, guys. You might be shocked to find out that the NFL is racist. Oh, fuck. I'm so surprised. I mean, goddamn, dude. The NFL fan base, well, at least certain parts of the fan base is racist as shit, as we saw with the whole Black Lives Matter movement with Colin Kaepernick. And the NFL team owners are obviously, a part of that. In certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation. Its 32 owners, none of whom are black, profit substantially from the labor of NFL players, 70% of whom are black. The owners watch the games from atop NFL stadiums in their luxury boxes, while their majority black workforce put their bodies on the line every Sunday, taking vicious hits and suffering debilitating injuries to their bodies and their brains, while the NFL and its owners reap billions of dollars. It's true. The NFL is incredibly exploitative. It's gotten better over the years, but it's still fucking horrible. The idea that they are standing in front of like actual fucking critical CTE research, because that means that it'll hurt their fucking bottom line when we find out that, like, being concussed every goddamn weekend is probably not good for you, and it ends up making you do mass murders because your brain is fucking broken. That's not good for the NFL. So we can't have that. The NFL, the CTE is like ExxonMobil with climate change. Like, they've known for a very long time, and they fucking have stood in front of it for a very long time. Oh, here, this was the Raiders tweet. I can breathe. Oh, God. Anyway, this is when you're trying to be... This is the least racist NFL owner, by the way. Ah! That's what he looks like. Billionaire, by the way. Flies in his private jet to get that haircut, by the way. Okay, so let's continue.
Dolphins fired Flores last month after back-to-back winning seasons, but the team failed to make the playoffs. The lawsuit even accuses Dolphins owner Stephen Ross of offering to pay Flores $100,000 for every loss during the 2019 season to secure a higher draft pick.
There are a lot of accusations that obviously he has been holding on to, and he decided that he was going to file that lawsuit, which was filed today, again, seeking unspecified damages.
Flores also claims the NFL and certain teams discriminated against him and other black coaches, saying he was subjected to sham interviews, only held so teams could satisfy league rules about interviewing minority candidates. The complaint revealed.
And that's precisely what happened. Like, it's exactly what happened. He got a text message from Bill Belichick that thought, he thought he was texting the right Brian, or the other dude who ended up getting the fucking position over him, a week before he actually interviewed for the position. It was like, yeah, congratulations on your new position. Yeah, Brian the Bull, I don't know how you say it, whatever. He went into the fucking interview knowing that he hadn't gotten the position. How crazy is that?
Reveals text messages Flores received from Patriots coach Bill Belichick last week, where Belichick indicates the Giants already gave the head coaching job to another white coach 3 days before Flores was scheduled to interview with the team.
The fact that you have to have a rule to interview minority coaches is a problem. That's the problem. It's to create this whole utopia that everybody is equal in the NFL.
It's just pretty funny because, like, they fired the one black coach for being too good. So we already talked about the Rooney rule. The rule is named after Dan Rooney, the former owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers and former chairman of the league's diversity committee. It was created as a reaction to the 2002 firing of head coaches Tony Dungy of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Dennis Green of the Minnesota Vikings at a time when Dungy had a winning record and Green just had his first losing season in 10 years. Shortly afterwards, U.S. civil rights attorneys Cyrus Mary and Johnny Cochran released a study showing that black head coaches, despite winning a higher percentage of games, were less likely to be hired and more likely to be fired than their white counterparts. So it's not even like this is not new to the NFL. Like, they literally set this bullshit ass rule up specifically for this fucking reason. So yeah, when the Rooney rule came out, there were 3 black head coaches, and now there is 1. So I don't know if it worked, bro. I don't know if the rule worked. It's just another queer fighter pilot argument. It does nothing for the working class. What? Do we need more black owners so they can extort money for the new stadiums out of cities? Fuck the whole thing. So I've talked about this before. Representative politics that specifically pluck like a singular person from a marginalized background and elevate them are band-aid solutions, okay? And that the ultimate goal is still to offer material restitution and provide material equality to all Americans, to all workers around the world, right? So a lot of this stuff is just aesthetic liberalism, okay? It's just purely aesthetic liberalism. It doesn't really do anything. You're just like looking out singularly for whatever individual is actually good for that job. But it doesn't matter because, like, when we're talking about coaching positions, when we're talking about coaching positions, when we're talking about like front office positions, executive positions, management positions, like, it does address a need. If 70% of your workforce, your primary labor force, is black, and then you have no fucking black people in managerial positions, or very little black people in managerial positions, and you don't have any black people in like executive positions or ownership positions, then, you know, they're not going to address any of the needs of their workforce from the point of view of like systemic racism or discrimination that they're facing. So it's still like a minor step towards progress. It's not the end all be all of progress. I'll never say that, but it's still a step towards ultimately making the labor force or understanding the desires and needs of your labor force. Okay, that's what I mean. So
last week, I interviewed for the Giants position. I was set to interview on Thursday, the Monday prior. Before I interviewed, I received a text message from Bill Belichick saying congratulations on the Giants, essentially congratulations on the Giants job. There was a little bit of back and forth.
How fucking sad is that? Sounds like you've landed. Congrats. Did you hear something I didn't hear? Giants? I interview on Thursday. Womp womp. I think I have a shot at it.
There was some back and forth and
some confusion because you haven't sat down with the Giants yet.
I have not sat down with the
Giants. Got it. I hear from Buffalo and NYG that you are their guy. Hope it works out if you want it too. That's definitely what I want. Hope you're right, Coach. Thank you. Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian DeBall? Just making sure.
Back and forth, and I asked him, "Is you talking to the right Brian?" As you've seen through the text messages, he was actually thought he was texting Brian Daboll,
who they ended up hiring.
Yes, sir.
So at that point, how did that make you feel, knowing that you were walking into an interview where a decision might have already been made?
It was a range of emotions: humiliation, disbelief, anger. I've worked so hard to get to where I am in football, to become a head coach. Put 18 years in this league, and it was to go on what was going to be what felt like, or what was a sham interview. I was hurt. And,
but you wouldn't knowing.
Dude, it's so fucking sad. Like, can you imagine you're like a fucking successful coach. You have an awesome opportunity, okay? You think that this like institution wants you. You think you're like going up for a position and they're going to do what's right and like give you the time of day and actually interview you. Meanwhile, the position has already been fucking hired and they're only interviewing you because of some fucking lip service thing called the Rooney rule. Like, they're literally only interviewing you because you're black for like a second. How fucking disgusting is that, dude? Like, that sucks. That absolutely fucking sucks.
That you probably weren't going to get it. Why did you continue to go?
I think maybe it's call it the audacity of hope. And I was, I have a belief that there's good in people. I just do.
We knew he wasn't getting that job. On the day before that Giants interview, we reached out to you, CBS, to all of you, to start talking about doing this interview today, because we knew he wasn't getting the job. We knew it was a setup. We knew they were just trying to comply with the Rooney rule. We started drafting the complaint, and here we are.
The Giants say they are pleased and confident in the hiring process. I get the sense from the lawsuit and from you right now that you had a feeling like, here we go again. This wasn't the first time you felt discriminated against in the league. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, the Rooney rule is intended to, give minorities an opportunity to sit down in front of ownership. But I think what it's turned into is an instance where guys are just checking the box. And that's been the case. I've been on some interviews in the past that where I've had that feeling. There's always no way to know for sure, but
You make claims that you were offered $100,000 for each game this team lose, subsequently to get a better draft pick. Kind of speak on that, because you don't hear about that going on behind closed doors. I'm a former player. I know you as a coach. You want to win.
The NFL's not rigged. Copium is silly. Like, the NFL is rigged in the sense that, like, teams throwing games is unacceptable, but, like, teams playing poorly specifically so they can, like, get better draft picks, I thought that was, like, a known thing, right?
Win. I walk in that locker room. I want to win. I don't hear people from the front office and above making those type of decisions that can change the outcome of your coaching career.
Look, this game's done a lot for me. I grew up not far from here, in the projects in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I didn't grow up with a lot. This game, changed my life. So to attack the integrity of the game, that's what I felt was happening in that instance, and I wouldn't stand for it.
And that was Dolphins owner Stephen Ross.
Yes. So.
And you think it hurt your career?
I think it hurt my standing within the organization, and ultimately was the reason why I was let go.
Wait, from what I understand, didn't they put a fucking shitty roster together? Okay, look, this is the extent of my sports ball knowledge. But from what I understand, yes, tanking is usually more discreet. Usually it's purposely putting together a shitty roster and having the losses pile up naturally. Except they did that in Florida, and he still fucking coached the shitty roster too well. And that's why he was like, dude, I'll give you more money. Allegedly. Colin Kaepernick, A. Reed, Brian Flores, they went against the status quo, and for that, they will likely never work in the NFL again. This tells you everything, but at least the NFL did this. End racism. Stop hate.
And Gail, you talked about the statement that they released denying and saying that they're going to defend. What was absent from their response to this 60-page complaint with serious allegations from a decorated head coach is, how about we'll investigate? We're troubled by this. We'll look into it. Immediate, no denial, and disregard and defend.
Yeah. That part was really funny, that the NFL was like, oh no, this is untrue. How do you know, motherfucker? You didn't even look into it. It took you 2 hours after the fucking lawsuit came out. You didn't even read it. You're just like, nope, not true. Oh, cool. Okay, got it. Yo, there we go. Black people make up 13% of the population, yet nearly 60% of the athletes in the NFL. But people in the NFL but still the NFL is systemically racist against black people. The system is conspiring to make them world famous millionaires. I'm so glad that Brian Flores is exposing the plot. Love that, dude. Fucking love that. Of course, the theocratic fascist with the most incredibly predictable take, dude. I don't understand. Like, plantations are comprised 70% of black people. What the fuck? Guess what, Sweaty? Seems like we're, giving meaningful employment to black people in the antebellum South. So, good one, Matt. Brian Flores was paid $3 million and went 24-25 over 3 seasons with the Dolphins, and he blames racism for being fired rather than his performance. Then his lawyer calls him the Rosa Parks of NFL. First of all, part of the lawsuit quite literally is about how he was getting bonuses because they wanted him to lose more. I'm sure Steven Crowder is a big tough guy. He knows enough, right? If I know this about the NFL, that like franchises like their teams to fucking tank so they can get better draft picks, then he must know this too. He's a big muscle man. He's a big macho man, you know? How does he not know? That's so strange.
But what is going on? There's this guy, Brian Flores.
Yeah, head coach Brian Flores has filed a class action lawsuit. He purports to represent 40 other individuals, and he's saying that the NFL's hiring practices for black coaches were racist. So let me just give you just a little information about this. He's suing 3 teams right now. He's fired by the Miami Dolphins after 3 seasons.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. At a certain point, I don't have any shits left to give. I mean, the NFL.
Well, yeah.
You're talking about the significant portion, I think, the majority of NFL players, but now they're saying, yeah, but not enough coaches.
Dude, what the fuck is he saying? The part of the NFL that is unironically a meritocracy, okay, is for the most part the player position. You can't get away with stacking the deck with shitty players. You can't fucking do that. That's precisely the reason why 70% are black. That is like literally the closest you can get to a meritocracy. Whereas coaches are still important, but you definitely can pick inexperienced coaches, bad coaches, and still get away with it. Especially considering that most coaches are coming, and this might shock you, from the player base. That's the reason why people say the player base is 70% black, but the coaches are not. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be 70% black coaches, but don't you find it a little strange that the labor force is 70% black, but then the coaches, which is like kind of a managerial position while you're still definitely a worker in that circumstance, like the coaches just are not. There's no proportional representation in any meaningful capacity. I wonder why that happens.
According to what is out right now, he's alleging the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross,
12 years a coach,
incentivized him, I'm just going to keep going, to tank in 2019 by offering $100,000 per loss. Now, that's pretty interesting because that would just increase the position of your draft. So if you lose the most games, like Detroit, Dave, you guys are...
He had 2 straight winning seasons with the Dolphins after he was asked to throw the first season on the team. Never happened to a white coach before. 2 straight winning seasons and fired. I'm a big Finns fan my whole life. I'm sorry to hear that.
You guys get to pick first and maybe get the best athlete, and so a lot of times it's a quarterback.
Wait, Detroit gets #1 picks, and they're still Detroit Lions?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we just don't do much
really poorly with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'd insult him back, but he's just right.
I'm right. Okay. But I want them to be better.
I know you do.
Their quarterback is going to the Super Bowl this year. He's just no longer with their team.
Yeah. I know your heart's in the right place.
So Flores says
the problem with Detroit is there's just so much ethnicity.
Right.
There's a lot of race.
So this is about race, right? So this whole lawsuit, race, right? He says that he was pressured to illegally recruit a prominent quarterback. I'm not sure how that's about race. And this is how his lawyer, Flores' lawyer, described the situation.
And litigation's not for everyone, but he stepped forward. He's been referred to as the Rosa Parks of the NFL.
By you.
And it's testament to his character. And the litigation will create change.
Really?
Can a reporter just ask? I just want one of those people at the desk, just when he goes, yeah, he's been referred to as a Rosa Parks. I want, without skipping a beat, one of those reporters to go, that's absolutely not true.
Well, first of all, she took the bus because she was making roughly $3 million a
Yes,
year.
exactly. Yeah.
Dude, it's always so funny because it's like they always talk about fucking the salary, right? Oh, you shut the fuck up. You make too much money. Shut the fuck up, right? Right wingers love doing this. Let's look at like the, I don't know, average coach salary in the NFL. Because he got $3 million. Let's see what the average coaching salary is. The current head coaches from whom data is available, the NFL coach makes $6.6 million annually on average. The median salary from available coaches is $5.5 million. The remaining 7 coaches are mainly new appointed ones, so the financial aspect of their contracts is still a mystery. But here are the list of NFL coaches, NFL head coach salaries. Bill Belichick with $12 million. This is from 2021. Bill Belichick, $12 million. Urban Meyer, $12 million. Pete Carroll, $11 million. John Gruden. Brian Flores Flores, out of the fucking 25 coaches, Brian Flores is the last place. He's literally at the fucking bottom, dude. Are you that horny to just be racist? I didn't know that this was going to be the case, okay? I did not know. I just wanted to Google it. I wanted to see what the fuck was going on, okay? I wanted to see what was happening. Now, people are going to say Mike Tomlin is at $8 million, but that's not what we're talking about. Right now, what we are talking about is Brian Flores' $3 million salary. We're talking about his personal salary that they're saying is incredibly high. Oh, I can't believe he's getting paid so much money to fucking lose. Understand, I'm not referencing like specifically black coaches getting paid less or anything like that. What I'm simply stating is they are making it seem as though he is getting paid a lot of fucking money to lose.
Exactly like Rosa Parks with your $3 million a year
gold-plated bus pass.
Exactly. What bus are you at the back of? Because I would like to be there too.
Oh my gosh,
it's a pretty nice bus.
The Rosa Parks of the NFL.
Well, and he's saying basically that
they would sick dogs on him if he sat in the wrong
yes,
seat.
Exactly.
So the NFL's had a problem. With
Rosa Parks had a what's it called? One of those executive boxes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, everybody, the NFL...
Like, you can't be in the front of the executive box. You got to be at the back with the shrimp.
Yeah, get back by the pizza.
From the Golden Corral. We had it brought in special.
Why would the fact that a white guy said that? Okay, look, I'm gonna jump back on what I said about Whoopi. That guy should lose his job.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Before you move on, let's play that clip one more time.
Yeah, let's just put it out.
Oh God, they're so fucking annoying. I mean, it's literally built around assuming that their audience that probably does watch football being so racist that they will not recognize that what they're saying is idiotic. That they will not recognize that this dude was in a team that was like trying to fucking lose. That his roster wasn't good, and even then he was still outperforming. That he is historically good ultimately. That he's criminally underpaid in comparison to the rest of the fucking league. You know, he's the least paid person that they're saying is getting paid so much money. You have to be so fucking moronic to not recognize, like, I don't know anything about sports. It took me one Google search to fucking figure out that, like, you know, Flores is getting paid $3 million. How are you going to fucking cry about how much money he's making when he's like literally the 25th highest paid, highest salaried coach, or 29th, sorry, highest salaried fucking coach in the league? That's so stupid. It's not about who you are. It's about who you know. You should know that. Same thing with streamers. Your fundamentals are wrong. Yeah, dude, I wonder if networking is so fucking important. I wonder if being black kind of stops you from being a part of the networking opportunities. If it's not even about fucking merit, which I don't agree. Yes, you are right. But the argument that you're quite literally making is the argument that I'm making. You just don't want to say there's racism involved in it. But yes, that is true. Yes. It's not about who you are. It's about who you know. Exactly. And who you know is severely limited when you're a black coach, when you're a black player that is not being elevated to coach status. So thank you for making my point for me while thinking you were making a different point.